Hey, lambs. Beautiful lambs. I think Moxie's chubbed up enough that she can get her jacket off. You guys sure waste a lot of hay. Look at the green there. Look at that. As long as they're hungry, they're full. Not hungry. As long as they're full, I don't mind wasting a bit of hay. They're the future. You know what I mean? There's some lambs that are market lambs. There's some replacement ewe lambs. I'm probably making a bad mistake on Moxie there. She's so little, but we each get a sort of pass every year that we can keep around and see what they do. Anyways, this is going to be day one here of however many videos we've done. We're almost coming up to a year of YouTube coming next month. All right. Just let me set this up here. There we go. How's that work? Okay. So we're coming up to a year. It's been kind of an experiment to figure out when we have time to do videos and when we don't. The biggest problem is editing. God, that thing is crooked as crooked can be, but that's better. Okay, better. Okay. It's also been an experiment to find out how the heck of the format we want to do it in. I'm hoping this will come right out after I edit the one together where we take the Poochie for a walk and whatnot and such. Anyways, I'm back to working on my Fenceline feeder. Not that you guys have seen much, but maybe I can do some project updates here. I honestly don't know. Somebody wants to edit these things. I got tons of video. I have no clue. But I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to just explain what I'm doing and get to work on it. So when we were laying this gravel stuff out here, I guess it's not really gravel, it's like a 4-inch minus, but we're going to call it a gravel for lack of a better term. This is where our working surface over here. This is where the tractor's going to be, where the hay's going to be up that whole fence line there. The fence line feeders are going to be on this side over here so that we can feed and we can put stuff, and the sheep are going to be on this side. So we did have, when I was grading this all out and packing this down, as packed as it'll be, you can see I sort of brought a lot of the gravel across to this side. We want the sheep to sort of, we don't want them to be standing on this so much. I'm going to have to get like a 2-inch minus from over there with a bit more of the dirt in it, so that it packs a little bit flatter but keeps them up out of the mud. And that will run between, you can sort of see that 5-footer there, and then way up at the top there should be a 5-footer right about, come on, handwork, right about there to there. So this whole side I'm hoping to put like a little bit of 2-inch minus sloped out this way, because what our intention is to come in here and sort of sweep this all out, throw the sheep poop into this alleyway, because this is the alleyway. You can see where the gate's supposed to be there, and then that fence line up there still needs to be rebuilt. We'll just take the tractor and push it all out and keep this whole area here clean so that they can eat up out of the muck. I'm hoping that's a good idea. We really don't know. There's an experiment, and we're lucky enough to be working until almost December this year trying to get this done, because this project needs to be finished. At least this one side needs to be done this year. It needs to be done. That's the big goal for this winter, and it's been a kind of a struggle here because breakdown dump truck, if you follow Facebook, Instagram, dump truck broke down, and we got the loop program, so we're doing that and trying to figure out how to get into that there. But this is a big deal. You can see the cardboard up there. That's the loop boxes we laid underneath sort of the muckier area here. This flatter area here, it's all a hillside, but it's flatter, and then it ramps right up right there. This gets really muddy, so we're trying to put that down to keep the mud from mixing with the dirt, I guess. Or the mud from mixing with the gravel. So what I gotta do is I gotta go along here. I gotta put, you can see some of these 2x6s that are on the post. They broke off when this is all packed full of manure. So I gotta go through and pull some of the screws out and put some longer ones in and reset them all up and down there. And then we're gonna go ahead and set the fence line fronts along the low side, what will be like chest height. So there's a little head. They'll come in and they'll eat here. So this bottom 2x6s prevent them from and then running up and down the alleyway like it's a racetrack. So I'm just gonna get to work, because let's see how this works out. Yeah, anyways, that's what's going on. Let's see. If I have to, I can voice over the rest of it. I honestly don't know. I don't know the best way. Oh, there you can see the fence line feeder a lot better there. But yeah, that's our working surface alleyway. There'll be tractors on here. This is where we walk a lot. This gets really muddy. I mean, the sheep side gets muddy too. It's all just trying to figure it all out. Building on a hillside, it drains nicely, but our whole property faces north, and melts way after everything. I'm gonna get to work. I can describe it as I go if you want. I don't care. Okay, so what I meant to say here was anything facing north takes longer to melt than anything facing south, and because all our pens here face north, it takes a while to melt as opposed to what's on the other side. Our whole property does face slope gradually north facing, if that makes sense. But what I'm basically doing here is some of the screws that we used, they're a little short, so I have to use this fence post to tap them through, and then I can use the drill to hopefully screw them out, or use a pair of vice grips to undo them, because they were pretty rotten from sitting in the boatload of manure that was actually in this area. And I'm really hoping to get a video edited out showing how much actual manure was in here when I cleaned these pens. It was actually quite surprising. I did these while Carrie was at the IPE showing our sheep. But I'm getting all these reset up on here. They kind of just popped off and pushed off. It's been quite a while since we actually decided to put a Fenceline feeder in, so these have been sitting for quite a while. Thankfully the lumber's still in good shape. But yeah, basically we're just putting these 2x6s on, and they are meant for the two rails to meet and have a solid mount to actually screw into, so that there's a good strength for the base of our feeder project here. We're basically just doing this front 60 feet here. I do go into more detail later on. This is actually future Greg from when this video took place here, so I did watch and just edit this video, but now I'm just having to remember what I just edited, and it is not as easy as it sounds to put a voice over on this stuff. So there I'm trying to fit all the lumber that came out. To that point there that I'm working on, they were all custom cut to the lengths so that they lined up in the center of the 2x6s that were on the post before we just decided just cut everything to 10-foot lengths, make it universal. If there's a gap, not a big deal. This makes it easy to buy lumber and rebuild this project if sections start to rot out. We want to make this into a modular type platform where each individual section can be rebuilt and replaced if it breaks or rots or something happens. So basically I'm just screwing that in and making sure everything's fitted, and we'll work our way down. From that point down, everything is just 10 foot. I'm using the actual shadow from where the 2x6s were screwed into, we'll call this the kickboard for lack of a better word. I'm just using the shadow to make sure they're at the right height. The height actually is pretty important for building the ground level up in the future. And in a minute. Yes, while I was out doing something, I knocked the camera crooked, so congratulations on not noticing that. So we'll just keep going here. We're going to put the bottoms on all the way down. They are set between 2 and 4 inches off the ground to allow 2 to 4 inches of fill to go in, so that we can put a rock or a drain type tile, for lack of a better terminology, in, so that we have good drainage for the where the sheep are going to be standing and eating and spending most of their time. That's pretty much the intended purpose on this. These pens do get quite muddy. Our soil is really gummy up in this area here, so this pit run is pretty much a must for anywhere you're working or have pretty intensive use. And the plan was to put it down everywhere, but I think I'll describe some of this momentarily, or I finally noticed that the camera is tipped over. So here it comes. Okay, when the hell did that fall over? I guess that's the downside to doing it this way, is I don't know. I'm not paying attention. Well, it fell over at some point. I don't know. Okay, so back to work. Some of the boards that came from the top are mixing in with the boards at the bottom and kind of confusing me a bit there. I've got a long board sitting next to the shed there that doesn't really go anywhere that I think, because like I said, the top boards were cut to length. We are trying to make sure these are 10-foot spaced, and like I said, modular platform. So anyways, I don't know what else to say there, so Alright, so I was kind of trying to, I guess I'll have explained it earlier, but these were all, I could also have explained it earlier. You know what? Yeah, these were all just, they originally had a place to go. I kind of cut them to length to fit the spot, and then I'm just like, just cut them straight to 10s. And then that's where I screwed up on this first one. Is I just took those off the other day to be able to grade through here. But so there's 10, and then there was like half an inch shorter than 10. So the rest of them, I just drew them up. We're not looking for perfect. It's a sheep building. So I really like the way that's sort of coming together with the gravel sitting about level. That's why there's a gap about 2 to 4 inches off the ground all the way down, is because that's how much I wanted to build up. That gravel, I know it's riprap, is exactly where I kind of want it. So well, it's exactly where I want it. It's perfect. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. So I just got to get you guys out of there so I can sort of clean up the gravel down there, because it kind of lays out. It's hard to get the tractor in and scrape this way to take that little corner out, so I'm going to have to do that by hand. And then we're going to put the last 2 on the bottom. There was 3 all the way down just like this, until we realized that we're going to put the bar on the top that spins the cores to the hay wrap. There's going to be a cable with the core there so that they don't wear the wool off their neck. So that's what's going in there. So these ones here are all cut to length, but we will put them on that fence line feeder when we're done. Hopefully they'll fit there. We'll make them fit there. So anyways, set you here. I'm gonna get that last one up right there. And then when this one's done here, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep going and getting the top rail, the second one, because I do have some rails sitting over there. I mean, it would be nice just to get it done, but this is also, well, what time is it? You guys know. I've been on this for half an hour, and it's getting to lunch. We're going to put the bottom one up, and then that's it. That's lunch. Okay? All right, so that's the bottom, kicker board, whatever you want to call it. Next is the chessboard. I think we thought maybe if we got to put one up, we can just raise the next one. If we find it's too low and they're really like reaching over, we can raise that next one up. I'm thinking, or we could throw another board along the top, because we got lots of 2x6s. I'm not gonna lie, we got lots of 2x6s. So, oh, there's a girl up here that's got the boys. So that's it. I'll be out after lunch. I'm gonna get the next row up, because what I really want to, how's that? It kind of goes in and out. It is what it is. It's a sheep fence. Don't worry about it. I can go see sweet peas in season. Standing in the corner at the boys. That's why the boys are getting scrappy. Manny did a flip over one of the feeders here just a minute ago. See? Look at the boys. So it's Hank and Manny have been scrapping. Here comes the freight train, and I think that's Skurs. Yeah. All because of my sweet pea here. You want to make babies? So I'm trying to finish this out in the next couple days. Is once the moms and babies and the withers, they'll all move into, or the moms and babies, the ewes that are due, the withers and the lambs will all be in this pen here. And then I will take the lamb's little shed right there, put it in this top pen over there, like the next one over. We'll close the gate. Then Hank's girls will be in the top, and then Freight Train's girls will be in the tarp shed. And then we'll have this building cleaned out, and then that's why we're trying to crank this out, because I am a week and a half behind when I wanted these guys making babies. But I have been pushing, because we got snow right there, and this is really, might as well take advantage of the drought season. I mean, I know it's November, but we still haven't had enough snow. So I'm in for lunch. I'll see you guys in a bit, I guess, for the next half. So I'm back from lunch. As you can see, I got my little partner out here. She can't get into the babies, so I'm hoping that if they just tuck in around their shed, she'll just stare at them. I mean, she needs to learn that that's her job, so she does need to be exposed to them. But she can't get into these guys, so hopefully she doesn't stress them out too much. So I have just gonna, I know this is probably picky, but I'm just gonna get this board screwed back into this thing here, and then we'll get the tops of this all finished here. You can see I got some gates up across there. There's an opening there that Spider Monkey could probably sneak through, but we're hoping I'm just hoping she doesn't. I'm hoping she stays fixated on these dudes here. I'm gonna get the bottom row on here, and then I'm going to switch out for the pallet forks, and I'm gonna move all the rails we got, or the posts for this. They're hidden in the grass there. And I'm gonna grab the rubber matting, and I'm gonna truck it all over onto some pallets in case we get some snow, because I'm gonna be honest with you, we should already be in snow. This is extremely, I guess, unlucky that we're in a drought type of season, that I'm able to work on this still. So I tried to put this one, you guys saw it, I tried to fit this one up, but this thing is super long, so I don't know where that one goes. I have no clue, unless it sits way up at the top in there. I have no clue where this one goes, so I might just try and size this one up, because you can see it had the big heavy screws on it. So what we're using is these big heavy screws. Ooh, focus. Whatever, I'll show you later. Anyways, I do have a couple more left here that go in here, and then you can see there's some on the bottom there that was put up to keep the wire from being knocked out when all the sheep had access to the alleyway. So without further ado, I'm gonna get to this. Okay, better. I'm running out of daylight, so I can't waste too much time. I want to get those things. I have a list of chores to do today. A chores, B chores, C chores. This is a B chore, or this wasn't even on the list, but it's turned into a B chore because I couldn't do one thing that I wanted to do. Oh, the loop up top, because I don't really know exactly what I'm doing up there. So the other thing that is a C chore or B chore is to drag the dump truck backwards. As you saw on Facebook, Instagram, dump truck's not working so good right now. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I don't really want to go throw a couple $100 on parts at the local auto parts store, because I'm basically firing a parts cannon right now, because it's in the distributor wiring system, or distributor ignition system. I don't want to go too much into it, but I'm probably going to rock auto some of those orders, or those parts, just because I need wiring. I need wires, plug wires, cap, rotor, ignition coil, and an ignition pickup. Because when the weight inside went loose, my neighbor said that it probably damaged a bunch of the components inside. So why the other one isn't working, I don't know, but I do remember that truck, I was driving it out back, and then it just shut off and it wouldn't run. So that's probably where anyways, best bet is to just replace all those parts, because they are wear items. So anyways, I got to get to this here, because we're running out of daylight. So I'm going to start cranking this crap out. So this one here was originally the top for this, and these ones don't end in the middle of the post, they go right to the edge. So that one is definitely a long one, and that could be used on that side over there, or at the top. No, that one's already got tops. This can be used down here. So I have the two end ones, because I've got a top one up there that's going to be longer. So there's one way up in that corner, and then this one here can go down like in this location on this side here. And I don't know why this is so freaking long either. Like, that's almost longer than that. Anyways, I'm gonna go fix this up here. I'm gonna see Spider Monkey hanging out there. Hey, Minky, where's the best place to go here? You should be able to see everything from there. Spider Monkey, yeah. The babies, and then me way up there. Alright, so I'm heading up top here to fix that sort of aesthetic split board that for some reason bothered me. I have no idea why. I should have just taken that and used it as firewood, but I screwed it in from the side just because at the time it bothered me and I wanted it to look good. For some reason, I guess the sheep will really eat more efficiently if their fence line feeder's pretty. I don't have a clue. Anyways, after I'm done this, I will run down and I'll finish screwing in those two rails, sort of the chestboards that are at the very bottom there. The first one there, the lowest one, is actually another longer one. The first one and the last one at the top of the hill are the longest boards, and then everything in between should be somewhat at tens. You will see in a minute, I find where the long board that I was kind of confused about goes. There is a longer section. The posts aren't set at 10 foot. They're actually, I think, 10 foot 3, 10 foot 2. So that's where that board right now is going. It has one place to go, and the board that was on the top that we were using as the overboard will probably end up being the back side of that for the trough to the high side of the trough to attach to, that's inside the alleyway, because I don't think we have any rails that are going to be long enough to cover that distance. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to be rectifying that sort of mismeasurement on the actual backside of the feeder here when we install that in another few days here. So anyways, yeah. Okay, so you can see up and down here, we got these here because this is called a, okay, so this is a welded stucco mesh. You see the little squares. It's really prone to breaking and rusting fast as opposed to the stuff that's on the other side of the babies down there, which is an actual galvanized sheep mesh. This stuff breaks really, really bad, and it doesn't contour to the hills so much. That woven wire, so instead of these being welded, they're wrapped. It contours really good to the ground. So what was happening is because there was so much poops along here, it was rotting out the wire, the metal, and it was breaking, and the lambs were pushing under. So we threw these, as these fell off or got broke off, we threw them along this side here, and we screwed them up apparently. So like screwed them into the post. So now I gotta go get my drill and unscrew all that. So I'm gonna do that and then be back. So I'm on to my old phone because my other one, the memory ran out, because I'm not doing videos and such very good, so they don't get done and taken off the phone really quickly. So anyways, I'm gonna get these last two spots done right there, I think. And I think they're sitting right here. I think I'm going to take the rest of these boards off all the way up here, just so that way they're not buried in the snow, because this pen does need to get rebuilt at some point. This, I believe, I think this one is the corner. Is it this one? Or is it this one? I think it's this post. This post is the corner of where our big barn's going to go. So this piece is all going to get taken out, and then the big barn will run across that way to right about there. And then all the way down to right about there. You can sort of see a post right there beside the manure spreader. I don't know, I'm not zooming in. So that's got to come out of there one day, and then this will all get redone. And then this pen here that we're in, I might put a door off of the front and make it into a quarantine pen, or we'll strip, you see this fence right here? We'll take it off to there, and then this will just be an open area for, I don't know. Snowing? Snow plowing? Just a backup pen for something. I don't know. It's good to have backup areas for backup pens. This boy's pen could also be extended right to there. And then what we're standing in could just be a big storage area. So there's that too. We don't know what's going on until we get it done. So I'll let you guys go. I'm going to get that done because I don't know how much memory this phone, well, this phone has good memory, but this phone has a crappy battery, so it doesn't last too long, especially in the cold. So I'm going to get that done. And you don't get to see the rest of those go up, but it's still the same old, yeah. So the bottom sort of rub rails are at least up. I'm not sure if that's the right height. I don't know. I think it's good enough. This is one of the, I think I mentioned, maybe I didn't mention, I don't know what videos I've done and not. This is racking we got from another farm that they used as panels, but it's actually sitting up over there somewhere. It's racking for Canadian Tire used in their garden center. So we're going to use these for the back side to attach our matting to make the trough. I just sat it on here to make sure it would be long enough, and it looks perfect. So I'm pretty happy with that. We might run into some issues on that one right up there where the gap is actually quite a bit longer. That's where the really long one, I didn't know where it went, actually went up in there. So I took its little partner right here because it had one on the top as well. You can see we had 3 rails at one time before we decided to go with whatever the other thing we're using now, and I can't, oh, the tubing right there. So I've got one of these is for the end and one of these is for a section up there, so I might need to use this for the back side to attach the trough to. What this one's going to be, because that section might be just so long, it might need a custom length one. I thought I did all these posts at 10 feet, but I put these posts in 2018, 2017, so I think I can remember how any of that all was. Anyways, the other B job, the B level job, was to drag this dump truck back. You guys know she don't work very good, but I need to line it up with this gate. So this box needs to be right about here so that we can clean this shed out here, so that we can jack up the floor and get this thing level, so that we can move Praegers and babies once this bottom trough. We're only going to that section right there, and then I can work that after. At least if we get this bottom 60 feet done, we can have the Praegers, the babies, and then the 3 withers into this pen here, so the big daddies could be making babies in this pen and that pen right there. But as you can see, we have another fence line feeder that needs to go in along here. This one is not a concern this winter, right, Flower? If we do get warm, I'm going to scrape this all out. Judging by what we need to modify or adjust from using that 60 feet, hopefully we'll build the top half as well and get that whole 100 done. And then if everything as planned works exactly as planned, we'll just set this one up exactly the same. We do need to bring the tractor, the backhoe in and dig out that stump and that stump, but that's not a big deal. Hey, Frosty and Flower. So hopefully this will go in by the spring. Once we get this all figured out, this will be no time. Right now it's a lot of thinking and back and forth and repairs, because this has been up for quite a while, so we've had to do a lot of repairs to this because it hasn't been put together. It just was not 2018 I think, 2017. But since it went up, we had, I think, a single one. We had this bottom one spaced and then one on the top, and then we decided to bring the spacing down so that lambs could eat at it. And then we decided to get rid of the top rail, like you can see right there, and then put a roller in, which is sitting right there. So it's modified the front since we even just had the plan of putting in a fence line feeder. And we don't want to feed it along the ground because I can't remember why. I just don't really want to feed along the ground. Not unless the ground was actually up higher, I do believe. So they're eating more to level, I think. And then that would just take a buttload of fill to bring in here, and we don't want to dig this down. So we figured a trough was our best option. Plus it would make it easy to hose out and clean out. That, I think, was the other option, was to clean it out. I think, I don't know. And keeping the feed contained into one area. So that if they were just fed on the ground, they'd actually push the hay and we'd get hay everywhere. I mean, we're going to get hay everywhere. Just the act of, like, look at that's just from loading wheelbarrows. So the hay's just everywhere. So we just don't want them to be pushing it everywhere. And if we get lots of winds up here, at least it's contained in a trough. So that's the plan there. But I'm going to get this dump truck honged back here with the tractor there. And then I'm going to grab some pallets sitting right there. And then I'm going to clean up this mess of lumber right here, because I think some of that needs to be burnt, but all the posts in here are actually for the back side of this right here. So I'd like to get those all dug out of there and set onto a pallet, because I actually lost these last winter. They were buried and then they froze to the ground, and the last thing you want to do is use a tractor to start digging in here, because you'll split and break posts. They are broken posts anyway, so it's not like you don't get more of them. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go grab the rubber matting that's over behind the trailer with the bale forks, and I'm going to set those onto pallets too. And I think I'm just going to set everything right in this area, or maybe up by that that plywood and the tilt table. You can sort of see it right in that area there, so it's easy to get it and it's close by to our work site here. Because I'm hoping in the next week this is done. I'm hoping I got some help coming next week, but I'm also hoping that I just get this done, because I don't want to be waiting on this too much longer. I want these baby making going on, because if you don't have babies coming, they aren't paying for themselves. So anyways, I'm not going to show this because I don't know, this phone doesn't have a crap ton of memory, and it is getting actually surprisingly cold out. It's only like 3:30, but it's getting dark and it's getting cold. So Maya's still up there she's pacing the fence. See her up there, she's pacing the fence. This is a good pen for her to be in. That top fence needs to get rebuilt. It never intended to have this gate, so we need to put a gate in up there. It's just been band-aided through the past, oh friggin' hell, that went up in 2016, I think. No, that went up 2015, and the reason is this tree started to die, so I've got to follow this tree. I don't want to finish that fence until I get that tree out and then excavated. So that fence needs to be redone up there, but I think that is the only one for this pen here, and this one's completely secured, right? Meow. So anyways, I gotta get to work. Look at that dog. Look at that border collie. Look at her. Look at that. Oh, she sees the babies. She did disappear. Okay, off to work. Okay, so dump truck's moved. I got some of that crap all stacked up. I got like 1% battery life because the phone is cold, but stuff is stacked right in front of the tractor. Dump truck's moved. Maya's having a great time. She's been out and about, but I'm gonna call that done for this day. It's 4 o'clock. Batteries and phone are dying. Other one's full. This is feeding everybody, getting their loop and their mash and their hay out, and I'm just gonna take the tractor up top and park it. And that's it for the day. I got not a lot done on this, but I mean, there's a lot of little jobs. There's some other stuff this morning that needed to get done. So tomorrow's another day. Hopefully we'll get more of this Fenceline feeder going, and we can show you more on how that's going. But that's kind of big progress, I guess. It's not big progress, but it's progress. Anything small, anything forward is forward, right? So anyways, yeah, you can sort of see if I'll get over here before this dies. So there's our matting. There's our broken post. I said I was going to put it on pallets, and then I just was like, screw it, let's just get it over here. If it's sort of better than spread out everywhere. So the pallets were, or the posts were all shoved in this area here, and there's a bunch of that lumber there that I'm not sure if I'm going to need or why it was thrown here. But now this is cleaned up. Unfortunately, we disturbed some cute little mices. Hopefully they'll rebed out in this. But this is the corner here of our big barn, and then there's the other corner. I still got to bring this up, I think 2.5 feet to match that high spot right there. I might dig that down a bit too. We're not sure on that. That's still a ways out. And then we've got to fill this alleyway that's going to go here, so that this has to come up. So yeah, future projects upon projects, and there's always something new. I was supposed to get my truck built this year. I didn't get my truck built but there's always something on a farm that has to take priority over another job. So anyways, that's the way it is. It's always dang dog needs to go in. She's starting to really move the babies. Anyways, there's always some job that has to take priority over another one because some disaster showed up, and right now it's just trying to get these done before before the big snow gets done so that we can start breeding. And we'll go over why these pens are set up small, big. So this is the big side, this is the small side, and some cool ideas we got off of having YouTube about building shelters into the hillside here and using like the manure and straws and stuff. So go over some of that cool stuff that I'm really hoping we could set something like that up, but we'll see. Wasn't in the plan, so you got to modify the plan because it's a brilliant idea. But we'll do that later. And why this is all set up the way it is. Sorry, I think that's where I was going with my brain. Why this is set up the way it is, and we're gonna keep it the way it is. If you Google Earth everything, you can see how it's changed over the years, and maybe I'll do one of those one day too. I don't know. Still trying to figure this out. So anyways, for me, Maya, the lambs, the rest of the ship, Larry and Willow were down there somewhere. The big rams, Sweet Pea's a horn dog, and Hot Rod. We'll see you guys on the next one. Right, Maya? Meow! Spider monkey! Where's Freya? Yeah, see, that gets your attention. You want that cat in the worst way.